Another tier list, I deeply apologise. Easy content to make, as I said before, and they are actually enjoyable to make. They're very sort of thought-provoking, I have to think about what my actual answers are. Usually on the tier list, I write a bunch of notes down, but this time I haven't done that. I'm just going to wing it off the top of my head. I'm going to put people where I think they should go. Just a little pre-warning, this is going to be a bit of a long one, so if you need to roll a joint or make some food or make a coffee or whatever it is, get ready for a long one. We're going to be going through every single UFC champion of the modern era. And when I say modern era, I basically just mean 2014 onwards. I spoke with a couple of my friends and we all kind of agreed that 2014 was when the sport sort of started to change. It was just before McGregor rose to the top. We're going from 2014 onwards and we're classing that as the modern era. Voice crack again. So we've got our tiers as usual. Chicken salad for the top.
Chicken salad, baby.
Just outside of GOAT talks, because obviously everybody on this list is a champion, so I can't be like, oh, this guy's mid. Just outside of GOAT talks, solid champion, which is basically just kind of like mid of all the champions. A Fluke win, because there's a couple of people on here that I don't think are champion caliber, let's say. Mike Jackson is a tier reserved for complete degeneracy. You have to fuck up a lot to end up in Mike Jackson. So I rarely ever use the Mike Jackson tier, but it's there if somebody deserves it. I'm not going to be going in order because I think this video would be quite boring if I went from strawweight all the way up to heavyweight in order. I have obviously all of the champions as you can see on the screen. I'm just going to grab random champions and rank them where I see fit. I might change this list as it goes on. At the end, I'll kind of rearrange, so don't take anything at face value. It's not concrete. Everybody can move as I carry on. I might put somebody in a certain tier and then later on change my mind. So yeah, wait until the end of the video before you crucify me, please. We're going to start with Fabricio Werdum because he's right here, first on the list. Now, Fabricio Werdum is the first heavyweight champion this modern era. His reign was from 2015 to 2016, and I'm going to put him in solid champion. Now, it is heavyweight, so the title defense record isn't that high anyway. Stipe holds it with 3, I think. So you can't really use that as criteria to rank the heavyweight champs because they lose the belt so fast. Even the best heavyweights lose the belt so fast. So I'm going to put Fabricio Werdum at solid champion. I'm not going to break down everybody's career, otherwise I will literally be here for 3 hours, and although I would kind of enjoy doing that, nobody's going to watch it for 3 hours. So Fabricio Werdum, solid champion. Next, we're going to take Leon Edwards. Now, Leon Edwards is a pretty new champion, and with this tier list, if I judged everybody on their title defense reign and stuff like that, it would go a lot differently, but I'm just going to judge them as a whole. So for example, John Jones is a heavyweight, hasn't defended the belt yet, but I would put him as one of the best heavyweights of all time because John Jones is one of the best fighters of all time. So they don't necessarily have to have 5 defenses to go to the top of the list, and just because they have no defenses doesn't necessarily mean they're at the bottom of the list. Ultimately, just outside of GOAT talks is a very strong phrase, so a lot of champions are going to be going in the solid champion tier. Again, I may move them later on. As a skilled technician, you know what, I'm going to put him in just outside of GOAT talks. He isn't, but he's got the skill to kind of rise above somebody like Fabricio Werdum, I think. Obviously, time will tell, but I'm going to put him here just for now. Next, we've got Robbie Lawler. I'm going to put him in solid champion in front of Fabricio. He won the belt in 2014 and then lost it in 2016, so a 2-year reign. Obviously, everybody knows Robbie Lawler is a great fighter. I would put him in front of Fabricio just because he did defend the belt a couple more times, and I know that doesn't account for everything, but it does account for something, right? Fighting at the highest level in 5-round main events, Robbie Lawler has more under his belt. We're going to go Sean Strickland, and I'm going to put him in solid champion. Now, I love Sean Strickland, and I know everybody's high on Sean Strickland right now, but let's face it, nobody thought he would have the belt at the end of this year. Stop type in the comment, yes I did, I predicted it. General consensus is that Sean Strickland was not good enough to beat Israel Adesanya. He obviously got knocked out by Pereira, but managed to get the belt off Izzy. I do think he beats Dricus, but I think he ultimately loses to Hamzat, or maybe even loses to Usman, if Usman is sticking around at middleweight. Again, time will tell. He could easily get to the front of this list with a couple of defenses, a couple more high-level performances. Obviously, everybody loves Sean Strickland's style, move forward and throw punches. If we're talking the whole MMA game and how they rank as a fighter, would I put Sean Strickland in front of Fabricio Werdum? Maybe not. So maybe I'll do this. Fabricio will go at the front. How do I do it? Yeah. And then I think Sean Strickland goes in front of Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler is an absolute legend. Again, I might move this tier list around, so relax. Next, we're going to go Eddie Alvarez. I'm going to put him in solid champion. I wouldn't put him in fluke win because the win against RDA was a legit win. He hurt him, he got him against the fence, and he threw from the hip until the ref jumped in. But it's not far from a fluke win in the sense of, other than RDA and, his fights with like Gaethje and Poirier, the back and forths, don't think he's one of the best lightweights to ever do it, for example. So I'm going to put him in solid champion. I don't think he got a fluke win, but I'm going to put him in solid champion. Next, we're going to go with Jamal Hill. He didn't get a fluke win. I'm going to actually put Jamal Hill in front of Robbie Lawler. This is skill as a fighter. I know a lot of people are hating Jamal Hill right now. I really think he's a great fighter. I think he's a beautiful boxer, beautiful technician. It's amazing to watch. The head kicks, everything's so clean. So again, just like with all the other tier lists, this is a personal bias. If somebody's got a style that I really like watching, I'm obviously going to favour them more because I like them more as a fighter. I think they perform better as a fighter. So for right now, Jamal Hill, obviously didn't really get the belt in a traditional sense. He beat Glover Teixeira for it, but his performances so far are good. I think he's eventually going to go on to maybe even finish Alex Pereira. So I'm going to put him in solid champion. Talking to the devil, Alex Pereira, we're going to put him in just outside of GOAT talks, and we're going to have to put him in front of Leon for the simple fact that he's a double champ. Came into the UFC chasing Adesanya, got that win, lost against him, went straight up to the next division and beat Jan Blachowicz, and then recently beat Yuri Prohaska. 2 solid wins, knocked Yuri out and beat Jan in a decision where a lot of people thought if Alex was going to win, it would be a knockout and he wouldn't be able to deal with the wrestling for 3 rounds, etc, etc. Alex Pereira, Powhatan, just outside of GOAT talks. I think if he gets like 3-4 defenses at light heavyweight and retires, some people are genuinely going to consider him one of the best. Do I think he is? Not really, because I think he's had a very easy path to the belt. Ultimately, we will see. He's been given enough time now to where if he fights somebody like Ankalaev and he low kicks him and he's managed to stuff the takedowns and kind of deal with the wrestling offense and just work on the low kicks and snipe him. If he beats somebody like Ankalaev or a Jamal Hill, then Alex Pereira will have my full respect. I do respect Jan Blachowicz as a MMA fighter, as a well-rounded MMA fighter, but it was a very close fight. In my opinion, it almost could have gone either way. The win over Yuri was a lot more decisive, but I would like to see a win over Ankalaev or Jamal Hill before I really consider him like one of the best light heavyweights. Next, we've got Amanda Nunes. I'm going to put her in chicken salad. I'm not a massive Nunes fan. Obviously, everybody enjoyed watching her fights when she would go in and KO people. She was one of the only women getting KOs. It's not her fault, and it's the same thing back in the day with Anderson Silva and things like that. When you win so much, people are almost just waiting for you to lose, and I started to become really disinterested in her fights because I just believed that at women's featherweight and at women's bantamweight, nobody had anything for her. Obviously, Pena got the win, but other than that, nobody really touched her. She had some good back and forths with Shevchenko. Obviously, she smoked Cyborg. She has to go in chicken salad. She can't be just outside of GOAT talks because she is the female GOAT in this sport. So she's the first fighter in chicken salad. Next, we're going to go with Alexander Volkanovski, and we're going to put him in just outside of GOAT talks at the front. What the fuck am I doing, bro? He'll go in chicken salad. Opinion, Alexander Volkanovski is the best featherweight of all time in terms of every fighter that has come out of the featherweight division. He is the best. He would beat them all. Has beat them all pretty much. The only reason I went to put him in just outside of GOAT talks is because he ultimately failed his attempts at double champion. But double champion isn't everything. Otherwise, Alex Pereira would be at the top of this list. I think what Volk has done, defending at featherweight against people like Max 3 times, Jair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega, even the first fight with Islam is extremely competitive. I think he earns his chicken salad spot. I have to put him behind Nunes just because Nunes is like the best ranked women's fighter there is out there. And without being biased and going, well, the women aren't as good as the men. We're talking accolades. We're talking well-roundedness in your respective gender division. There's nobody else that kind of has the record of Amanda Nunes, even if that featherweight belt is kind of bullshit. She is still a double champ, and I think she would go in front of Volk if we're talking the grand scheme of things. But obviously, do I think Amanda Nunes would beat Volk in a fight? No. Next, we're going to go with Jan Blachowicz. I put him in solid champion just behind Jamal Hill and in front of Robbie. Performance against Glover Teixeira was just extremely underwhelming. He kind of just got ran over. It looked like he didn't really want to be in there. He's a great fighter. I love him. I love watching him. But as a champion, he didn't really do that much. He did defend against Adesanya and have that sort of good fight. And obviously, Izzy will be quite high on this list. So a win over somebody like that should probably put him higher. In fact, yeah, I'm going to put him over Jamal Hill. I can't put Jamal Hill in front of... And to be honest, I'm going to put him in front of Sean Strickland. Got to respect Jan for what he's doing. You know, he's beat some good names. I think that Ankalaev fight was a draw. I don't think it was a robbery. He's obviously beat Adesanya. It's just that Glover performance. If he would have won against Glover and maybe lost against Yuri or Jamal Hill, then maybe I would be like, okay, but he got steamrolled by Old Man Glover. Talking about Old Man Glover, I will put him in solid champion, and I'll actually just put him behind Jan, although he did run through Jan. So people may be like, what the fuck, how can you put Glover behind him? Actually, you know what? I'm going to swap those around because Glover has the story as well. You know, he was in the UFC for so long. He came in, he was such a scary guy. He got smoked by John Jones. You know, he lost a few fights and then he climbed back up to the belt eventually when he was in like his 40s. So you have to respect Glover. I would put him in front of Jan, I guess. Next, we're going to go with Luke Rockhold. I'm going to put him in solid champion and I'm going to put him just in front of Robbie Lawler. I don't think that... See, Jamal Hill's bugging me and Sean Strickland are bugging me going there. I'm going to put Luke Rockhold in front of Strickland and Jamal Hill. And should Robbie Lawler... I'm going to put Robbie Lawler in front of Jamal Hill. I know that I said it wasn't all going to be on title defenses and accolades and things like that, but if we're talking skill as a fighter, is Jamal Hill as good of a light heavyweight as Robbie Lawler was a welterweight? I would probably say yes, maybe even better, but the welterweight division was a lot deeper than the light heavyweight division when Jamal Hill won the belt, which was a few years ago. So ultimately, I can't put him in front. I still like Fabricio Verdum at the top of this list, but again, Fabricio Verdum is like the main fighter in this list that crosses over between the old guard and the modern era. He was the first heavyweight champion that just made it into this modern era. I probably wouldn't even consider him a modern era fighter, but he was amazing, you know, not just in the UFC. He had some amazing wins, big legacy. I'm going to keep him at the front. Again, I'm not going to dwell on this too much. I'll arrange him at the end. I don't want to keep you here for literally like 2 hours. Next, we're going to go with Michael Bisping. I'm about to lose some fans. I'm going to put him in Fluke win. He got gifted a couple of decisions. Obviously, I'm an Englishman myself, and I love Michael Bisping, but I think he lost the fight with Hendo. The Silva decision was a bit of a mad one, and the win against Luke Rockhold is great, and it's a great underdog story and stuff like that. But would I put Michael Bisping with people like Robbie Lawler? I know a lot of people are going to probably be watching this video like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? How are you putting Michael Bisping and Fluke win and then putting Glover Teixeira above him? But ultimately, I think Glover had to earn that belt, go through harder fights to earn the belt. Michael Bisping got given that fight on 2 weeks' notice. Yes, he went in and knocked Luke Rockhold out. My whole channel is literally based off of that Michael Bisping knockout with the left hook. That's where left hook Larry comes from, I'm pretty sure. And obviously, I'm left hook Harry, so... Shout out Michael Bisping. I'll probably move him later on. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. We have a lot of fights to get through, but yeah. Next, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. You already know he's going chicken salad. And I'm going to put him in front of Nunes because as a UFC champion, until that fight against Henry Cejudo, let me actually check. Demetrius Johnson was flyweight champion from 2012, so before this generation, to 2018. So he is, again, one of the only fighters from the old guard that made it onto this list just because he held the belt into this new era. Demetrius Johnson, the greatest flyweight of all time, in my opinion. One of the best of all time. Still doing his thing. Great YouTube channel. Great guy. Chicken salad, bitch. TJ Dillashaw. Now, we're going to put him in just outside of GOAT Talks. Probably in front of Alex Pereira. Obviously, TJ went for the double champ at flyweight and failed. He got finished by Henry Cejudo very fast. But he beat Garbrandt. The Henan Barao, obviously, if you know, you know. TJ Dillashaw is very, very good. I would not put him in solid champion. I think he's better than every single fighter in his division. I think he's better than every single fighter in the solid champion list. But yeah, TJ Dillashaw, I'd say just outside of GOAT Talks. If he's not in front of Alex Pereira, he's definitely in the middle of Alex and Leon, I would say. Next, we're going to go with Chris Cyborg. Going to put her at the front of solid champion. She should probably go in, yeah. I'm going to move her up to just outside of GOAT Talks. And I'm going to put her in front of Leon. Obviously, in women's MMA, Chris Cyborg is top 5, top 4 probably. So I have to put respect on her name. She's not in chicken salad, obviously, because she got flatlined by Nunes and she's had some iffy performances, but I definitely think she's more than a solid champion. Next, we're going to go with Cyril Gane. Now, I have included interim champions on this list. Beat Derek Lewis for the interim. It wasn't a fluke win because he obviously won. I'm going to put him at the back of solid champion. Cyril Gane obviously hasn't won the undisputed belt yet. I don't think he will ever touch that belt again now that Tom Aspinall's at the top. But I would put him at the back of solid champion, I think. It's disrespectful to put him in front of Bisping, so I probably will move Bisping later on. But yeah, this is how it is so far. Next, we've got Ronda Rousey. I think she goes at the front of just outside of GOAT Talks. She was almost there, but eventually she did get exposed. If Nunes never came around, Holly Holm never came around, I'm sure she would have wiped out the rest of that division and sort of ran off into the sunset. But women's MMA started evolving too quick before she could get out the back door. So eventually she did get exposed. I couldn't put her in chicken salad. She did do a lot for the sport, but if we were going off of that, Conor McGregor would be number one, so I can't do that. Next, we're going to go with Daniel Cormier, and we're going to go with just outside of GOAT Talks, right at the front. He's right there. If without the losses to Stipe and Jones in their trilogies and stuff like that, he's probably a lot higher. But at the end of the day, he lost to the best in his prime multiple times. He's very, very good. I don't think he makes the chicken salad. If John Jones didn't get stripped, Daniel Cormier would just be a heavyweight champ that goes on this list. But because he did hold 2 belts, he has to go up near the top. I just don't think he goes in chicken salad. Now, we should be far enough into the video where the bots can't clap my cheeks. I'm not sure what words I'm not even monetized yet, so I suppose it doesn't matter. Bobby Covington. Like I said, I'm including interim champs. I'm going to put him in just outside of GOAT Talks at the back. He isn't outside of GOAT Talks in the sense of, like, obviously he lost to Usman, but Usman was the best welterweight in the world for a very long time, and he went back and forth with him. A lot of people think that he actually won the decision on that second one. And with Leon, he's actually about to fight Leon, and I actually think he's going to beat Leon. So really, I should put him in front of Leon, but he hasn't beat Leon yet, so I can't fucking disrespect Leon like that. I think Colby is better than a solid champion, although he hasn't held the undisputed belt. I do think I would put him in front of people like Verdum, Glover, Yan. I think he's one of the best welterweights in the world, so ultimately he goes at the top. If he beats Leon, he probably goes to somewhere, probably in front of Rousey maybe, I'm not sure. I'm going to try and speed things up a little bit because this is taking fucking ages. Holly Holm, I would put her in solid champion at the back. She didn't really hold the belt for that long at all. Carla Esparza, I'm going to put her in fluke win because she won the belt through winning the Ultimate Fighter, which isn't a fluke, obviously you have to put work in, but she won the belt because the fucking division didn't exist, and then she won the belt on kind of like a really fucking boring fight with Rose, so, you know, fluke win, maybe not. Yeah, I'm not putting Carla Esparza in front of Bisping, bro. Bisping's going to have to go here. I'm even going to put him in front of Cyril. Bisping, I'm sorry I put you so low down. I don't know what I was thinking. But in saying that, Carla Esparza has beat Yan Xiaonan. She's beat Rose. She's beat Alexa Grasso. You know what? I'm going to put her at solid champion in front of Holly Holm. See, this is what I mean. A lot of these things are going to start changing. I'm sorry, Carla Esparza. The record isn't actually that bad. Next, we're going to go El Kukui, Tony Ferguson. He held the interim belt for a little bit. Fucking, they did him dirty. But at his prime, 5 years ago, he would be probably just under chicken salad. But obviously, he's had a massive fall off, 6-fight losing streak. But as a champion, what I would have judged him, I can't really do that, can I? I need to kind of go off how he... No, because Fabricio Verdum, yeah, I'm going to go in their prime. I don't know if I've already said this. All of these are going to be ranked in their prime. Tony Ferguson at the time, I would put him. He didn't capture the undisputed, but he was on a 12-fight win streak. But Leon was also on a great win streak. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move Leon up, and I'm going to move Tony with him. Next, Henry Cejudo, chicken salad, double champion. The fight against Aljo, shown that he can still compete with the best bantamweights in the world. I never thought he should have been a bantamweight. I always thought he was way too small for that division, but he's made it work. Again, don't really need to delve into the career of Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist, etc., etc. Next, we got Brandon Moreno. Just outside of GOAT Talks for the flyweights. This just outside of GOAT Talks tier has already got way too many people in. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move Chris Cyborg down, and I'm going to put her... I'm just going to move these guys down, right? A lot better. I apologise that I was putting way too many people in just outside of GOAT Talks, but I've rearranged it. I feel much better about this. I'm just going to swap Leon and Colby, but yeah. I'll review all of this at the end and order it properly. I just want to get people in the tiers right now. Jermaine Durandamy, I would say solid champion, somewhere at the back with home. Shevchenko, I would put her at... I'd put her just outside of Goat Talks at the front. No, you have to put her in... I'm going to put her at the back of Chicken Salad. Jermaine Sterling, he was just outside of Goat Talks. He did do a few solid defenses, so he can go just outside of Goat Talks. Sean O'Malley, I think he goes solid champion, just behind Leon. Obviously hasn't really had many fights against top level competition, but his wins are extremely impressive. Whether you think he robbed Pete Yan or not, he fucking rocked Pete Yan, put him on skates, and not many people have done that. So that shows, regardless whether you think he won or lost that fight, if they were to give the decision to Piotr Yan, he would still be at solid champion now that he's beat Aljo. I think the fight again, I really rate Piotr Yan. Like, I think Piotr Yan's one of the best bantamweights in the world. He just has fucking terrible look. GSP, Chicken Salad right at the front. Personally, for me, I think he's the second best MMA fighter that's ever lived. Number one, it will be on the list soon. I'm sure you can guess who it is, but I think he's the second best to ever live, basically, yeah. Now, keep in mind, Anderson Silva isn't on this list because he lost the belt before 2014. GSP was still champ in 2014, so he makes this list. We'll do a separate tier list for the golden age or the old guard or whatever you want to call it, and Anderson Silva, people like that will be on that list. Rich Franklin, Matt Hughes, Cain Velasquez, all of those guys. I just know a lot of people are pretty new fans, and I don't want to bore you with names that you've never fucking heard. Dom Cruz, I would put him at Chicken Salad, and I would put him in front of Henry, just behind Volk. He was amazing when he was on top. One of my favorite fighters of all time. Used to love watching that guy fight, and I genuinely thought he was just going to rule that division forever, but obviously injuries had different plans for him, and so did Cody Garbrandt, I guess. Talking of Cody Garbrandt, I'm going to put Cody Garbrandt, solid champion, in front of GDR. Oh, it's easy to look at his performance against Cruz and be like, how can you put him in solid champion? That performance was amazing. Team Alpha Male basically crafted Cody Garbrandt's whole style around beating Dominic Cruz. Tom Cruz was beating all the big guys from their camp, and Cody was the young prospect, and they basically tailor-made him, game planned him for years and years against Dom Cruz. So when he fought him, he just basically schooled him. We saw very quickly after against TJ Dillashaw, even people like Pedro Munoz and fucking Kai Kara France at Flyweight. He couldn't really hang with the top of the division consistently. He did almost finish TJ in their first fight, and if there was a few seconds in that round, maybe this whole list would be very different. But yeah, ultimately Cody Garbrandt, you could almost call it a fluke win, but I would never do that because it wasn't a fluke at all, you know what I mean? Talking about fluke wins, the first fighter in the fluke win tier list, Juliana Pena. Don't need to say too much. Nunes had an off night, it happens. Pena did the dipping jab, and that was about it. And yeah, got the submission. It was a crazy night, and I really, really was happy for Pena. So no shit talk on Pena, but I think that is basically the definition of a fucking... Next, we've got Max Holloway. I would put him at Chicken Salad at the back. He was a great champion, and he may move up on this list in the Chicken Salad realm, but he's definitely Chicken Salad material. So yeah, Max Holloway, Chicken Salad. I'll explain more at the end when I rearrange everyone, I guess. Next, John Bones Jones of Chicken Salad for me. Defended the light heavyweight belt more than it's ever been defended. Set records and title defenses that people are still trying to smash. Obviously, Anderson Silva has his record, but he has been, I think the stat is something crazy, like he has been in only title fights for like fucking 8 years or some crazy shit like that. I'm probably getting that completely wrong. Either way, John Jones, I think he's the best fighter that's ever lived. I think he smokes literally every human being that's ever fucking lived in hand-to-hand combat. I think he's the best fighter that's ever lived, you know. And that basically sums up that front of Chicken Salad for me. Cyril Gane, interim champ. Do I already have Cyril Gane? No, I thought I already ranked him. Cyril Gane, I'm going to put... solid champion. I'm just going to put him in solid champion. Now, I'm going to stop worrying about the order of it until the end of the video. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So I'm just going to assign the tiers, and I'll rearrange after, and I'll show you what I've done to save you sitting here for 25 minutes and watching me rearrange it. Stipe Miocic, Chicken Salad. Francis Ngannou, I'm going to put him in just outside of GOAT Talks. Tom Aspinall, I'm going to put solid champion. If I was ranking his skill, I would put him in Chicken Salad. Personally, I think he's going to be the best heavyweight of all time, but we're going off right now, so I think he goes at the front of solid champion. Rob Whittaker, just outside of GOAT Talks, probably like there, to be honest. Yuri Prohaska, solid champion. Israel Adesanya, chicken salad. Johnny Hendricks. I'm gonna put him in the front of Fluke win, not because it was a Fluke win, but because he almost beat GSP is basically how he got the belt, but I'm more calling it a Fluke win because he was on steroids, and as soon as USADA came, he fell off a cliff. So actually, I'll put him at the back of Solid Champion. There's just too many fighters in Solid Champion. I might have to take a couple out and rearrange them either way. Tyron Woodley, I would actually put him in just outside of GOAT Talks. Tyron Woodley was sick in his day. I know everybody remembers him as the Frozen One, and the Wonder Boy fights weren't that entertaining. But when he smoked Robbie Lawler, some of his fights in Strike Force, all of that, it was great. Here's actually a post I made on Facebook on the night that Woodley KO'd Robbie Lawler, because Woodley was not my favourite fighter on the fucking roster at that point. Piotr Yan, I'm going to put him at the front of Solid Champion. He would be just outside of GOAT Talks if he hadn't lost like fucking 2 or 3 in a row at this point. Very sad about the Piotr Yan situation, but I hope he gets a few wins back and gets another shot at the belt, because he can definitely beat O'Malley, I think. He's already beat Sandhagen. I think he beat Cejudo. Marab's just a problem for everyone, man. Next, Rafael Dos Anjos. He lost against Eddie Alvarez. I'm going to put him in Solid Champion. I will rearrange him at the end. Kamaru Usman, chicken salad. He's one of the best welterweights of all time, probably number 2. Khabib Nurmagomedov, potentially the best lightweight of all time, chicken salad. Andre Pantoja, put him in just outside of GOAT Talks for the work that he's done. He's literally beat like most of the fucking top flyweights before he's got the belt. Now he's got the belt, he's going to probably have to rematch them all, but he's already beat most of them. He's beat Manel Cap, he's beat Brandon Royval, he's beat Moreno now multiple times, It's a, we'll see how it goes. Andrade, I would put her in Solid Champion. Zhang Weili, I would say chicken salad. There isn't really anybody else in that division, maybe other than Rose, that would go up with there. Talking about Rose, we'll put Rose in just outside of GOAT Talks as well. 2 wins against Joanna is nothing to, snarl at. Joanna, we will also put her in Solid Champion. Alexa Grasso, I would put her in Solid Champion. Nah, just outside of GOAT Talks, right at the back. Obviously, she's not just outside of GOAT Talks, but she's beat Valentina twice. Legit. I thought she won that second fight on points. So I'm going to put her up there, man. I know that's kind of controversial, putting fucking Alexa Grasso above people like Leon Edwards and shit, but maybe I'll move her at the end. I'm not sure. We've only got 5 more fighters. I can't see. I'm going to go Davison Figueiredo, Solid Champion. Most people won't even fucking know who this is. Solid Champion. Probably not a Fluke win, but yeah, Solid Champion right at the back. Misha Tate, Solid Champion, I think. Conor McGregor. He was a double champ, but he didn't defend it once. He's going to have to go in Solid Champion. He's the only double champ to not make the top 2 tiers, and that should tell you a lot. And then, last but not least, Islam Makhachev. I would put him just behind DJ. I think he's making a fucking crazy legacy for himself. He's probably going to go down as the greatest lightweight of all time. Now, I'm going to go off screen, smoke a bit more of this, and I'm going to rearrange this whole thing to about the most accurate I can get it, just so people in the comments don't try and find my address and fucking get my house swatted for putting Dom Cruz behind Amanda Nunes. I'll be right back. Bear with me. I'm going to arrange this whole thing and see what I can do. I've just realised I do have Cyril Gane on here twice, so I'm just going to put him in the same. I'm just going to put him right next to each other. Okay, so I've arranged this the best I can. There's a lot of fighters in here, so everybody may not have the perfect spot. The only fighter to make Fluke win might just be me being a bit too nice. I did think I would have put more fighters on here, but when actually reviewing them, I don't think anyone else really could go on here. One of the flukiest wins, you could argue. Obviously, put the work in to win the fight. John Jones at number 1, GSP at number 2, DJ at number 3. If Anderson Silva was included in this, he would probably be at number 3 instead of DJ. I've got Islam above Khabib, and I do think that Islam is not Khabib is not head kicking Volkan, knocking him out. So I don't know. Before the Dagestani fan base comes and wrestle me to death, I do respect Islam and Khabib very highly. I just would not put Khabib in top 5, top 6 greatest of all time. He's got an amazing record, but 60-70% of it is super padded, just like a boxer's record. You don't see that much in MMA. Khabib is one of the highest level athletes in the sport that has a padded record. I'm not being a hater. Go and look at his fucking record, and then go and look at most of the other fighters on this list. Most of the fighters that make it to the UFC are fighting decent competition from Cage Warriors, from Bellator, from wherever it is. They're fighting decent competition. Alex Pereira and Izzy literally came from the top kickboxing organization. You know, Khabib has a padded record. That's just fact. Islam's above Khabib. I've also put Volk above Khabib. I just think Volk has done more. He's got more title defenses. I think beating Max accounts for so much. Khabib, his defenses is Gaethje, Poirier, and McGregor. 3 pretty one-dimensional strikers. Yeah, they're all a little bit different, but at the end of the day, low kicks from Gaethje, hands from Poirier and McGregor. I think Islam has had tougher competition. I think Volk, his first fight with Islam, speaks volumes, so I would put him above Khabib. But ultimately, I'm happy with the order of this list. I'm sorry for putting Alex Pereira that far back and not putting him at number 1. I know he's fucking flavour of the month right now, but Alex Pereira has had a relatively easy path to the title, whereas somebody like Francis Ngannou, TJ Dillashaw, Alexandre Pantoja, Robert Whittaker, and even Rousey, I guess you could say, haven't had as easy as a path as Alex has, in my opinion. I don't think he's faced as tough competition as somebody like Whittaker, DC, or Max Holloway. But yeah, ultimately that's it. I'm sorry this was a long one. I know many people might not even watch this one all the way through, but if you're still here, thank you very much. I've got a new mic now, so everything is coming together. The ring light is on the way, so no more weird vampires there. Good having the lights like this on like a goldy kind of colour, yellowy kind of colour, kind of makes the room look a lot less dim, so I might just keep it like this until the lighting gets here. New camera will get sorted soon. I think I'm going to switch to my phone, but ultimately I don't know if anybody else finds it charming, like the low quality, like, you know, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Trailer Park Boys. The early few seasons of those shows are always so budget cameras, everything's grainy and low quality. I kind of like it, so I'm going to get more MMA related stuff to put in the back. Thank you so much everybody that subscribed. I really appreciate it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know I keep saying it, but seeing all the love that I'm getting straight away, I know how hard it is grinding for a YouTube channel. I've tried it before with other niches and things like that. I've got friends that have tried many YouTube channels and they've all flopped, and you know, I'm so grateful to have in my first 10 uploads over 300 subs, so many comments, so much interaction. I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you. I'm going to make a whole separate video talking about this, but I am going to start live streaming soon. I watch a lot of these UFC cards on my own at like 4 a.m. and going on stream, even if there's just like 2 or 3 people in there, that's like, I would much prefer that. I can hang out with some of you guys, fucking smoke hella weed, make some bad bets, and yeah. So I think I'm going to go live for the next couple of big cards. I will keep you posted. I said I was going to go live for last night's card, but I didn't. I finished work too late and I couldn't make it. But yeah, once again, thanks everyone for subscribing. Appreciate you sticking around. I'm going to be trying to get videos out every day. Sorry this was a bit of a long one, but yeah. My name's Harry. I talk about fights. Bang, there's a fucking random photo from my camera roll. Appreciate everyone watching, man. If you like the video, subscribe. If you like the video, like the video. Appreciate everyone. Have a good day. Love you very much. Yeah. Bless.